In our continuing series of my favorite phrases, today we're going to talk about a phrase that I use a lot that makes it easier for us to move forward, makes it easier for us to take action, and more importantly, in the moment when we're overwhelmed by emotions, it creates a little extra emotional capacity so we can be more grounded in the moment. This is Monterastelli, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 553, originally aired April 5th, 2023. Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you're getting a chance to listen to this. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. Today, as we continue the series of my favorite phrases, we're going to talk about a phrase that I think is one of all of the ones that we talk about that is the easiest to dismiss, but is super, super valuable in helping us to move forward, not in so much as taking action, but in reducing the resistance that exists in our subconscious mind. And when we do that, taking action becomes much easier. Before we do that, two quick announcements. Number one, we have a free 10-part guide on how you can use tapping to eliminate self-sabotage. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com, click on that big blue button, enter your email address, and every day for the next 10 days, I will send you a little bite-sized tool to help you to eliminate self-sabotage and take action even easier. And then at the end of the 10 days, you can take the tool that works the best for you and use it over and over again. If you happen to be listening to this right now in the website, if you go up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a blue button right there as well. Click on it and we'll get that guide to you right away. Secondly, I want to send a huge shout out and thank you to all of the supporters of the Tapping Q&A podcast. These are people who voluntarily contribute to ensure that you get this high quality program over and over again. They also get some really cool bonuses and are making a difference in the world. If you'd like to be one of those amazing supporters, all you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/support. A significant amount of my work and a significant amount of the things that I teach about and that we talk about here in the podcast are things that have to do with our relationship to our subconscious mind. And the reason that's the case is the subconscious mind is the information from the subconscious mind creates our emotional response because it's in our subconscious mind that we're interpreting what is going on. So it's not that something is happening, but how I evaluate it, And so the emotion are coming from that place. And also the subconscious mind is primarily driven by keeping us safe, which is awesome, except when it's overfunctioning and it's creating all sorts of extra resistance. And so when we're doing this work, oftentimes we are saying, and we are tapping on phrases that intellectually either feel incomplete or intellectually or consciously feel like a half measure because it's super, super obvious to us. But for me, the work is constantly about negotiating with the subconscious mind so that we can transform the stories in our subconscious mind. So we're recognizing what is actually safe and what is actually dangerous and not having this misinformed sense of having a circumstance or a person or an opportunity or an action or our world feeling more dangerous than it actually is. Because when things feel more dangerous than they actually are, then we're not taking the actions that are going to make a difference and to create the lives that we love inside of all of that. And so because that is the case, oftentimes when I am tapping, I am using lots and lots of caveats. I'm open to the possibility that someday it might be possible. It is safe for me to do this in a small way. And intellectually, I don't need to be saying those things. But this is about working with the subconscious mind so it's easier for it to step into something. If someone is scared of doing something, someone is scared of being in a boat, you don't just go, hey, let's get in the boat. Instead, we want to gently warm them up to the idea that it's possible to be in the boat and be in the boat in a safe way. Once you sit in the boat, we're not going to leave the dock. Why don't you sit in the boat and I'm going to hold your hand here from the dock. So we're gently working our way into it. And so for me, when I'm tapping, the phrase that allows me to do this is the phrase, I am open to the possibility. And being open to the possibility does not mean I am saying it is true, does not mean I'm saying that I believe it, does not mean that I'm saying that I'm acting upon it. So instead of saying, I'm getting in the boat when I'm afraid of it, instead if I say, I'm open to the possibility that someday I might feel safe being in a boat. And so when I do that, my subconscious mind will go, I wonder if it is possible for me to do that particular thing. And so when we're tapping and we're trying to create change and there's a lot of resistance, instead of like if I'm afraid that, let's say I'm trying to lose weight, and I'm afraid that I'm going to lose the weight and it's going to come back. And therefore I don't want to take action. And if I'm tapping on the phrase, I'm going to lose the weight and it's going to stay off this time, my subconscious mind's going to go, no, you're not. You failed before, you're going to fail again. But if I'm tapping on the phrase, I'm open to the possibility this time around because I have new tools and resources, I might be successful. Now, when I phrase it in that particular way, the subconscious mind isn't immediately shouting me down because it's afraid I'm going to lose the weight and gain it back and fail and be really disappointed by that particular thing, not only wasting time and energy, but also having to deal with the failure of having success and losing it. But the subconscious mind is willing to entertain the possibility if I'm framing it as a possibility. And so that's the reason why I am open to the possibility is one of my favorite phrases, is it gives us the ability to have a conversation with the subconscious mind without pushing it into a corner or forcing it into an action that it doesn't want to take. And so it can be lots of things. We can be open to the possibility about how we see ourselves right now. I'm open to the possibility that I'm actually okay where I am right now. Now, if I'm in a moment where I'm in distress and I'm worried about what's going to happen, being open to the possibility that I might be okay right now is a good, useful thing in how I engage with that. It could be I'm open to the possibility that this can change. I'm open to the possibility that I can learn this new skill that I've been struggling with. Or we can be open to the possibility of about an outcome. I'm open to the possibility that I can be healthy when I am successful. I'm open to the possibility that I can be successful and still be safe. And so you'll notice as I'm doing that, I'm not claiming anything in particular. I'm not saying I have to have something. I'm not saying I need to be in a particular place where things are like this all of the time. But by doing that, what we're doing is we are softening the resistance in our subconscious mind. One of the reasons why oftentimes internal work is called parts mediation is because we're mediating between two parts to get them on board. In this case, I'm mediating between my conscious mind and my subconscious mind. And instead of dragging my subconscious into something, I'm saying, hey, let's be open to the possibility that this might work out. When I'm brainstorming, I love asking that question. Okay, let's be open to the possibility that everything goes as planned. What do we need to be prepared for? Let's consider the possibility that everything's going to go wrong. What is our contingency? So I'm not being in the negative emotion of, it's going to be horrible, but I'm open to the possibility so I can engage with it in a different way. So again, we can use, I'm open to the possibility about the state that I'm in. I'm open to the possibility that I can take an action. I'm open to the possibility that someone else can accept me. I'm open to the possibility I can do something and then be safe, be healthy, be something else. And there's a million other ways that you can use that particular phrase. But it really is one of my favorites. I use it all of the time. It's one that's really easy to slip in where you're not even going to have your client rolling their eyes at you because it feels like you're caveating something. Because sometimes my clients roll eyes at me when we're using phrases. And the one we talk about next week is one that they definitely roll their eyes at, even though it's super, super powerful. But we will talk about that then. So I am open to the possibility to try the next time you sit down to tap. I would love to hear your experience. I would love to hear the venues and the ways that you try to use that phrase and reshape that phrase so I can add that to my tapping toolbox as well. If you know someone in your life who would appreciate a conversation like this, someone who is an active tapper and is looking to go deeper with their tapping skills, please pass this or any of my favorite phrases along to them. Don't spam your inbox, but there might be one or two people who could really use this today. And as we always joke about, our marketing budget is your word of mouth. You're going to reach people that I could never reach, and it's an opportunity for us to create change and transformation in the world a little bit at a time. And even if they don't listen to the audio when you send it to them, reaching out and saying, hey, I thought of you today. I thought you might find this useful, will make their day brighter because they know someone cares about them. Yes, it's cheesy, and yes, it is true. And I'm open to the possibility that someday I can ask you to pass things along in that way and not feel like I'm saying something cheesy. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the podcast. In podcasting parlance, subscribe is always free. Everywhere you get audio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Audible. Search for Tapping Q&A, click follow, click subscribe, whatever the word is in the app you are using. Most importantly, turn on those notifications so every single time we got a free piece of content, you get it right away. If you got questions, comments, topics you'd like us to cover in the future, I'd love to hear from you. I can always be reached at support@tappingqna.com. And yes, I'm the one that reads all of those emails for the Tapping Q&A podcast. This is Gene Monterastelli. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyright Gene Monterastelli Tapping Q&A. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Monterastelli and Tapping Q&A.